Good day, everyone. This is Pineleaf Needles, and welcome to DDO Players News, where we take a look at the latest news in DDO and on the tabletop. And please welcome my host from Ravenloft, Dracula.
Hello, everybody. How's it going this fine evening? Hello to the chat room.
Hello, chat room. Apparently, I was planning a little trip to Mordor today, and it got canceled.
Because, Pineleaf, everybody knows one does not simply walk into Mordor.
I suppose you're right. Something is going to hit you along the way.
And one does not simply launch a Mordor expansion, apparently, either.
Oh, actually, I think I know why it had been delayed. They had scheduled a walk into Mordor tonight at, I think, around 8:30, around the time we're recording this. And, of course, I was thinking of going to it, and, of course, that broke everything because I can't be in two places at once.
See, there you go. That's right.
Yeah.
That would be like a shift in the time-space continuum, so yeah.
All right, so sorry about everyone for that little fiasco, and now let's head into DDO, which is, I think, why we're here today.
Yeah, and we've got nothing.
We got nothing because everybody was busy doing
Exactly.
something about Mordor, I think.
I kind of think all of Standing Stone is working on Mordor at this point, so yeah. So, sorry about that. We got nothing.
Well, I could just imagine when it gets to late October, when in Lotro there's going to be nothing going on.
Oh, yeah, on the Lotro side, you mean? Yeah.
Yeah, the Lotro site would have nothing going on while it's all really busy up here at DDO.
Exactly.
But let's head into the Chronicle, because at least there was a Chronicle this week, and is that a tiefling with a bow?
That is not a tiefling, that is a succubus.
That's a succubus with a bow. See, I can't even tell a tiefling from a succubus. As if the wings don't give it away.
Exactly. Come on now. Yeah, and that is actually... Well, I won't tell you where that's from. You'll find out. That's all I'll say.
Oh.
Because, spoilers.
Okay, I have a feeling
For you.
that I'll be seeing one of these very soon.
I kind of have a feeling you will be seeing one of them on Wednesday night.
Yeah, I had a feeling you'll be saying that.
If I look into my crystal ball, I have a feeling that is what you're going to be seeing.
Very well. Oh, yes, on Wednesday night when I'm doing this instead of participating in a walk in Mordor.
Exactly. See? There you go. See, it all comes back to Mordor somehow.
Yes, all right. Let us then see what we have on the mini spotlight. Anything interesting there?
We have a great episode of DDO Cast that just came out where Patrick is interviewing our executive producer, Sev, Twerk, Nobob, and community manager, Cordovan. And Sev was a little chatty during the interview. He let something slip that nobody knew about yet. So that was kind of exciting.
We did?
He did. They were talking about Ravenloft a little bit. He didn't give a lot of information on Ravenloft.
Of course not.
But he did state they are going to have a new universal tree that is going to come out, sort of like the Harper tree that we have now. It'll be another universal tree, and it's going to be the Bastani Knife Fighter.
The Bastani Knife Fighter.
Which fits into Ravenloft very nicely, so I can see why they're doing it. So yeah, that was kind of cool. That was the first we've heard of that.
What makes it so appropriate?
The Bastani are the people that are native to Barovia. They are like the gypsies of Barovia.
Gypsies of Barovia. Well, hold on. If they live in Barovia, how are they gypsies?
Details, finally.
Details.
And according to Gumsking, if you go to DDO.com right now, the Update 33 Night Rebels event is on the main page of DDO right now this second. So apparently there was a slip in the time-space continuum, and I'm going to blame you for it, finally.
Me.
Because you were thinking of being in two places at once. See what you've done? DDO.com is now rolled back the time, and Update 33 is like the brand new update. This is all your fault, finally. I blame you for this. Back to our chronicle in the also the community spotlight. The DDO character planner has been updated, so if you use that tool, it is now updated to the latest build of the game. Flipping over to the fan site news section, the Damsels are back, and they are at episode number 72. So they are inching closer to that magical 100th episode. So click over and watch to see what the Damsels were up to. Mickey is checking in on update 36. Apparently she's taking some time off from raiding and checking out the new updates. And Even Note runs a pretty slick mind flare in her latest Streamin' with Even.
Is it a slick one or a sick one?
I'm sorry, sick. Sorry. Words are hard.
Okay.
And then we have our official screenshot of the week, and it's Death is Waiting for You in the 326 DDO screenshot of the week. And that is thanks to Narvergen. I don't know. Words are hard, Piley. I'm sorry that I just butchered your name, because it's a cool screenshot that you did.
Yeah, that is a rather...
Yeah, I have no idea. I'm not even going to...
Yeah. When you have 1, 2, 3, 5 consecutive consonants with no vowels in there,
yeah,
you're trying to make people have difficulties.
See, Pine Leaf can't even come up with logic for that name, but cool screenshot nonetheless. And of course, we'll round out the Chronicle with the Chronicle comment of the week. What is a little-known dwarven mining tip?
I would have thought that most dwarves would have just tipped their picks with a mithril or something very strong like that to get the most effective swing.
See, then again, you're putting too much logic into this, Pine Leaf. Unless I'm reading that question wrong, it's not, you're taking it literally.
Oh, you tell me literally.
Like a tip. Like, watch for falling rocks. That would be a tip. Not their pickaxe tips.
Oh, and not how often they fall over after drinking too much beer.
Exactly. And Gumsgang is saying, boost your strength and charisma with ale. Wait, sorry, that's a well-known tip. I like it, Gumsgang. I really do. And that was kind of going to be my tip, that because, dwarves drink a lot. So I was going to say the most little-known dwarving mining tip is to drink a lot of ale before you go mine. You'll mine faster. But then again, that's well-known.
Yeah, well, mine faster, but will you be mining more accurately?
Again, details, Pine Leaf, details.
Details. I know, I tried to apply the logic to these.
I know, just logic, Pine Leaf, logic.
Anyway, as for this name, I was thinking Nirvan.
Okay, I'll buy that.
That is the closest thing I could come up to a name.
And that actually does kind of make sense looking at it, so okay.
But
I will buy that.
Or perhaps Nirveen might be another possibility to it. Depends on how they wanted that to be pronounced. But I'm sure that if anyone here knows, they will send it in and correct us.
Or if you're listening to the podcast, leave us a comment and tell us how the heck you pronounce your name. Because we really don't try to butcher names on here, but sometimes you people come up with some names that are just like, I've got no clue to how to even begin to pronounce it.
Yeah. Very well. It might make perfect sense in some other language that we don't know.
That could be true, too.
Then let's head into our store sales. And is there anything here that you wish to go out and buy?
There is some pretty good stuff on sale this week, actually. 20% off the Treasure Hunter potions, select crafting items, custom cosmetics, and augments, all at 20% off. And this is the final week of the summer sales. And I think this is the best week of the summer sales. 35% off the Gnome class. So if you want to experience Gnomegeddon for yourself, 35% off the Gnomes. You have 50% off the Demon Sands Adventure Pack and the huge Hireling Contract Folder. And then we round it off with 75% off Tomes of Skill +4 and the Traveler's Terrific Trunk at 75% off. And I don't think you're going to see the trunk cheaper than 75% off. So if you were waiting to buy one, if you were on the fence about buying one, you have the DDO points for it. Now would be the time to buy that.
And what is a Traveler's Terrific Trunk?
It has some Big B's Guiding Hands in it. It has cosmetic in it. It has Treasure Hunter's Elixirs in it. I think it has a Tome of Experience or something in it too, or no, Experience Potions, I think. It's got like 4 or 5 different items in it. They were like kind of way overpriced when they first came out, but at 75% off, that's not a bad deal. And if you look up just the price that you would pay for the Treasure Hunters elixirs that are in the trunk, if you would buy the packs of them that you get in the trunk, it is more expensive just to buy the packs of the elixirs than it is to get the trunk for all the stuff.
Okay.
So my tip is, if you have the DDO points, we really got to come up with some better way to say that, because it used to be, you could just narrow it down to like TP, and that was easy to say. But now it's like DDO points. I guess you could say DP, but that, I don't know. Anyway, we need a better way to say that, because DDO points doesn't roll off the tongue like TP did. But if you have the points, you've been saving them for something, or you just hoard your points, 75% off the Traveler's Trunk is a terrific deal. And as I found out at the beginning of the show, before we came on the air, we were kind of talking about the huge hireling contract folder. And it is actually, since it's 50% off, it is actually cheaper than the large folder right now. So if you were thinking about buying a hireling contract folder, for less money, you can hold more hirelings. So save yourself some points and get the huge hireling contract folder if you're in the store for one. Sorry. And Ninth Bond is saying he's getting one now, and I'm assuming he's talking about the trunk. So see, my sales pitch worked. You're welcome, Standing Stone Games. You're welcome.
Yeah, people going out there and grabbing them.
Yes, at least Ninth Bond did. So see, there you go.
All right. And what did you say the free sample is this week?
I didn't, actually. I forgot to mention the free sample. And you know what? I totally forgot to mention it because I didn't put it in the show notes. So give me 1 second to open the Chronicle back up.
Yes, it looks like that it's an Enchanted Repair All kit ×1 with coupon code Repair All.
There you go. And that is through August 3rd. Can't believe I was slacking on my producing duties and didn't add that to the show notes. Yeah. Tisk, tisk. I need fired.
Let's then head on into no player news, huh?
Hey, we got nothing. Gen Con's 16 days away. That's
okay. Well, Gen Con 16 days.
That's
actually, back to the store sales.
Mm-hmm.
With the gnomes on sale.
Yep.
It reminded me of a strange little tidbit there, and that is the original name Tolkien had for the Noldor, which are the high elves that we are going to be having released with the Mordor expansion.
Mm-hmm.
The original name that Tolkien had for the Noldor were the gnomes.
Is that right?
Yeah.
I didn't know that. That's kind of funny, actually.
Yeah. I think he changed it when he discovered what most people imagine in their mind when they hear the name gnome.
Oh, okay.
That's
not what he had envisioned for the high elf.
That's not what he had in mind. But in a way, we could say that Lotro is about to get its own Gnomegeddon.
True, you could.
All right, now let's see what's coming in from the dungeon. And it looks like the dungeon is helping Hasbro.
Very much so, actually. So much, it even got called out in the sales report numbers. But yes, Hasbro did their quarterly report to their investors that companies have to do when they are a publicly traded company. And Hasbro sales are up. And they said a 20% increase in game sales were to thank for that. And it was kind of awesome because the CEO of Hasbro even mentioned Dungeons and Dragons, especially by name. He said D&D sales and Magic the Gathering were what really helped push their gaming sales in quarter two. So that is kind of awesome to see.
It's amazing that with all this emphasis you hear a lot of companies have with new games and all this stuff, that Dungeons & Dragons and Magic the Gathering, which Dungeons & Dragons has been around since 73.
Yep.
Magic the Gathering was about 20 years now?
Yeah, I think they are celebrating their 20th or 21st, something like that. So yeah.
Right. So therefore, and they're the ones that are really helping them right now.
You know, the big saying is what's old is new again. Apparently it's true. But yeah, to get like a little nerdy with the numbers, Hasbro's overall revenue was up 11% over the same period last year. And that is $972.5 million. $273 million of that was just game sales alone. And the CEO of Hasbro did say that he thinks Twitch is really driving an interest in both D&D and Magic, as the Twitch channels for both of those properties, respectively, are seeing more subscribers, more viewers, and they are noticing as they produce content on their Twitch channels for the games, the sales go up, which makes sense as well, too. So, and yeah, he did say they are going to have some big announcements fairly soon, and that is going to be with some digital gaming for Magic the Gathering. So apparently Magic the Gathering has something brewing, and we'll find out soon, according to Hasbro's CEO. But yeah, that's pretty cool. Dungeons & Dragons got a little shout-out for driving up Hasbro sales. So good job to the Wizards of the Coast team and all their hard work. And 5th edition is an awesome edition. I think I can't say everybody loves it, but I would say a good percentage of D&D players are really happy with the state of 5e at this point and how they like tweaked it and changed it.
And how certainly I think it's more universal than its predecessor.
Exactly. Well, I was about to say, no, you can't say that for the edition that shall not be named.
Yeah.
So good job for getting rid of that piece of crap. Thank you. We all appreciate it.
We all appreciate it.
Oh, was that out loud? I'm sorry.
Well, fortunately, they did get rid of it, so we don't have to.
That's right. That's right.
We don't have to then say that the people at Hasbro should get rid of it. All right, let's then head
I was saying that from day one, but that's...
Well, okay, I guess you got a point there. Let's then head into Gen Con, and how many days are sold out now?
Oh, just about all of them. Yeah, we're starting to sound like a broken record at this point. But yeah, Sunday's sold out now. So that leaves Thursday and Friday. And Thursday is very, very limited, Gen Con says. Friday is like super crazy limited. So they are on pace. Again, Gen Con stated in a press release that I received, if the sales continue the way that they are continuing, they will be sold out by next week. Totally Gen Con, a complete sellout. Never happened in 50 years, but it's going to happen this year, which is crazy again to think about the amount of people I'm going to have to put up with. Just people everywhere. All you can see is people. It's going to be crazy because it was super crowded last year.
I'm telling you, next year's is going to be at the Brickyard.
Yeah, pretty much. That's about all that's going to be left, I think, in Indy to either that or they're going to have to build like the convention center 2 and just have 2 convention centers and go that way. But yeah, it's crazy. So if you're thinking about going to Gen Con, you can still go Thursday and you can still go Friday, but you better hurry up, get over to GenCon.com, buy a ticket because your choices are quickly running out.
Yes, of course. It sounds like Thursday is isn't exactly what you call the choice day to go to a convention.
No. I would say from years past, I would say go Friday would be a good day. And if you're into like the cosplay aspect of conventions, Saturday is the day to go for cosplay.
But that's no longer available.
Correct. So you're out of luck on that. So Friday's a good day, and Sunday was a good day too, because the crowds were a little less thin then, because a lot of people had gone home. And usually in the vendor hall, you can start getting some deals because people don't want to pack all their crap back up again. So they'll kind of work with you on the price. But Sunday is now off the table too. So you're just out of luck. And Gumsgang in the chat is saying you could cosplay as Pinocchio. That would be an interesting cosplay with that many people. That is all I'm going to say.
Yeah. Now, I do have to say that the thing about Sunday, even if it were available, the tricky thing with Sunday is, yes, you can get some great deals, but the item still has to be in stock.
Well, that's true, too. And, yeah. And I can already imagine most of the hot games that usually are released at Gen Con, I guarantee you by Friday they're going to be all gone. I can't picture a game company actually having enough in-stock items to last all 4 days for like a hot game title. So there's going to be a lot of pissed off people coming probably about mid-Friday going to get Game X, whatever, the big hot game of the convention is going to be, and have to be told, yeah, we sold out of that yesterday.
Yeah.
Get used to my tips for Gen Con 50. Get used to hearing we sold out of that and waiting in line. Lots of lines. Very long lines. And saying, oh, excuse me, sorry, excuse me, as you try to wage your way through the vendor hall. That's what you can look forward to at Gen Con 50 this year with that many people. It's going to be insane.
Anyway, sounds like they're going to need multiple Gen Cons rather than trying to...
They're going to I'm telling you, they're going to have to do something.
Didn't they try that before, though?
Yeah, they did, and it failed miserably.
Oh, what happened?
I can't remember the whole deal. There was like, I don't remember. At one point, they had like a Gen Con England, and they had like a Gen Con, I want to say maybe they had one in California or something. I don't know. I think what they found is they were spreading themselves out too much, and there was too many of them. So ticket sales were not good for any of them. But see, now it's coming back around to where it's like tickets, everybody wants to go now. And it's like Indy is like, I mean, it's a really good sized city, but for that many people to just take over that city for like 4 days, it's not big enough. But then again, I don't think any city would be big enough.
Yeah.
Nightbon is this in the chat is saying, so what's the odds on Drac having a get off my lawn moment in the convention floor? I'm saying I'll give you odds of that about 5-1 maybe. I'll be good until about maybe Saturday, and then Saturday I'll be in my get off the lawn mode. So I'm saying 5-1, Ninth. Do you want in on that?
5-1, and 5-1 is the 5 you. Which side is the 5 and which side gets the 1?
5 is the side saying, heck yeah, I'm going to have a get off my lawn moment.
All right.
I think the better bet would be which day is it going to happen on. That would be the better bet. Will I make it till Saturday before I can't take the people anymore? We'll see. Because it's actually, I was talking to my friends about this today too. It's kind of funny, especially since I do like a podcast now. I'm not a real social person. I don't like crowds. I don't like really dealing with people that much because, just another side note, I used to work in retail, and I worked in retail for about 8 years, and that like totally ruined me for people. If you've ever worked in retail, you know what I'm saying about people. So yeah, so it's like kind of funny. Like here I am, and I'm kind of like an introvert, and I'm kind of like a very shy person anyway, especially around people that I don't know. And yet I do a podcast, which is kind of weird because it's like that doesn't make sense to be an introvert and a shy person, but yet I talk on a mic and people listen. It's weird. I know. I'm still trying to wrap my head around that. And I used to be a DJ as well, so that
I think it's common. So
yeah. So yeah, and then. Just like inside, I'm like freaking out. It's like, oh my God, all these people. Because last year there was a lot of people, almost way too many people for me. So now I'm just like, my anxiety is like through the roof. And I'm not even there yet.
Yeah. That's fine. All right. Let's see what's on the tabletop then. And it looks like a classic arcade game a classic arcade is now a card game. What is it, Pac-Man?
Pac-Man might be coming, they said, actually.
Oh, they did.
He did, because I actually talked to the publisher of this the other day. Yeah, this is awesome. Burger Time, the card game, is coming to Kickstarter.
Never heard of Burger Time.
Please tell me you're not serious. Please tell me you're trying to make a deadpan joke right now.
I have never heard of Burger Time.
Oh.
Until I saw the announcement to this card game.
Really? What have you done with your life, sir?
It doesn't exactly sound like a name that is going to stick out at me and say, hello.
Then you apparently did not spend any time in an arcade then, because I spent way too much money on this game, and then I spent way too much time playing it on the Atari 2600 as well.
You know what were the big games the last time I played in an arcade?
If you say Pong, I'm going to quit right now.
I was going to say pinball machines.
That's about even worse. Oh, my God. Wow. Okay. So, yeah. Well, there was this wonderful game called Burger Time. And the whole point of the game was you had to make hamburgers. And you had to make hamburgers really fast. But you had to watch what ingredients you were using and make sure you used the right ingredients and so on and so forth. Well, Data East is bringing Burger Time to the table. It takes you back to the arcade of the 80s, where apparently Pine Leaf never spent any time in. Or if he did, he was playing pinball. When we were all young and had pockets full of quarters. Burger Time is a 2-player game. It can be played solo, though. In the game, each chef is trying to build the burgers from their menu the fastest and first. Players are going to draw cards from their deck and build their burgers in order. Each burger is different and will require each unique ingredient, but you need to watch out for the bad guys, Mr. Egg, Mr. Pickle, and Mr. Hot Dog, as they are going to try to steal your ingredients and slow you down.
Oh, rude.
That is very rude. So yes, Burger Time, the card game, coming to Kickstarter, which is actually on Kickstarter right now. And this is actually a pretty decent Kickstarter, because usually Kickstarters, to like get in enough to where you get the game, you have to throw in like $40, $50 usually. $20 on this one. $20 and you can get a copy of the game. So that's pretty awesome. In of itself, it is funded, so the game will be made. They are currently, as of this recording, $5,004 of their $3,000 goal. I like how it's $4 of their $3,000 goal. But yeah, as I said, $20 can get you a copy of the game. And they are estimating shipping to be 2018 in January, so not too long of a wait either. But as I said, I did kind of talk to them in email the other day, and they are looking at bringing other classic 80s video games to the tabletop. So stay tuned. They were kind of seeing how this went, but they said they didn't go into much detail with me, but they said they have a way they can get rights to most of the classic 80s games. So maybe a Pac-Man game. Who knows?
I have a feeling it may depend also on the reaction of the people who provided the license to this game, to the game. So in other words, do they think it did justice to it? Because that may make other people decide whether or not to allow such things. Because, you know, if you butcher something, people don't like it.
Very true. And I agree with Ninepon. He is saying, fingers crossed for Rampage the card game. Yes, that needs to happen. That was another game that ate all my quarters when I was a kid. Man, I'm telling you. And then Ninth is also saying, there needs to be a new segment on the show. Outrageous stuff Pine Leaf has never heard of. I think you might be onto something, Ninepon. The weeks we don't have a lot of news, we might make that a thing, actually.
All right, let's go see what's on the screen. And is it a new video version of Burger Time, or is it a cult classic video game Night Trap is coming? But what is Night Trap?
I'm going to say it's another game you've never heard of. Now, this doesn't shock me. I figured you would have never heard of Night Trap. But now Burger Time kind of surprises me. But back in, have you ever heard of the Sega Genesis console.
I've had Brannick give me extolling its virtues at one point.
Okay. Sega Genesis had an add-on for it that was called the Sega CD. And that was right when CDs first came out, and game companies figured out, hey, these CDs can hold a lot of stuff, and we can put, like, full motion video, so we can make full motion video games. So Night Trap was one of the first full motion video games that was out, and it was out on the Sega CD. And the premise of the game is you have to save a bunch of girls in this sorority house that are having a slumber party, and these masked people come in and try to kill them, and you have to save the girls by tripping up traps that are in this house. Strange premise for a game, I know.
Strange. In other words, an excuse to have several pretty girls.
And that's the rub right there, yeah.
That's the rub?
When this game came out, it drew a lot of controversy and a lot of fire because of, just like you said, scantily clad women, violence, yada, yada, yada. It got so bad to where this actually was the focus of one of the Congressional Senate hearings on video games and violence. And this game, along with Mortal Kombat, actually led to the ESRB rating system for video games.
Okay, I had heard of Mortal Kombat because and its role in the matter. I had not known about Night Trap.
Yes, Night Trap and Mortal Kombat were the two that spurred it on. People freaked out when this game came out, and it was quickly pulled from shelves, so it was hard to find. Well, now it's coming back. Its 25th anniversary. The publisher called Limited Run Games is going to release this, and it is going to be out for PC and PS4. Xbox One version is coming, but it's not coming out with the others. They said they're going to release it in two different waves. The first wave will be kicking off at 10 a.m. Eastern on August 11th of this year, of course. And then following that, 6 p.m. that day, there'll be another one. I have no idea why they're doing it in two different waves like this. It's really weird. But it is a limited run game, though. There is going to be a nice collector's edition. If you would like to get that, that will feature a region-free physical disc for the PlayStation 4 with a full-color manual, large fold-out poster, and reversible cover arts, and also a cassette tape, remember those kids, featuring the infamous Night Trap theme song.
I will presume that this is going to be rated M.
They haven't said, but I would assume, well, I don't know.
Well, considering that it was one of the ones that instigated the creation of such a thing.
Well, don't get me started on that, but yeah.
Okay, fine.
It wasn't as bad as people were making it out to be, but anyway, so yeah. And it will be on Steam as well, too. They are releasing a PC version of it as well. So look for that coming August 11th. If you remember Night Trap, you can get it in a very limited run.
Now we'll head into Fighting Fantasy Legends is out. Fighting Fantasy Legends. This looks like the WWF of...
Kinda, sorta, no, not really. This is based off of the, of course, Finding Fantasy books from Ian Livingston and Steve Jackson, which you may or may not remember.
I have heard of Steve Jackson at least because I had the Sorcery series.
Oh, well, that. And I'm impressed you actually knew which Steve Jackson it was. Because usually you say Steve Jackson and they're like, the Munchkin guy. It's like, no, the other Steve Jackson.
Besides, I wouldn't say the Munchkin guy. I said the GURPS guy.
Oh, well, okay, that's true. But yes, Final Fantasy Legends is now a card game, and that is on the PC. And this, of course, as I said, is based off the three classic game books. They were Choose Your Own Adventure books, the City of Thieves, Citadel of Chaos, and the Warlock of Firetop Mountain. The object of the game is to explore the dangerous content, facing rogues and monsters, and piecing together cryptic clues to complete the perilous quest that you have set upon. So Fighting Fantasy Legends is now available on Steam. And look for a review of this coming soon-ish. I actually got a press code for it to play it. I just have not installed it yet. I know I'm bad. I'm horrible. I'm a bad person. But yeah, so look for that in the next couple of weeks. I will get the review up. It's available on Steam, available on Google Play, and also the App Store for Apple devices. So you can either play it on your mobile devices or you can play it on your PC. But if you loved the world of fighting fantasy books, this is bringing the books to life and in a card game format where you're going to battle monsters and you will play through the famous events of all three iconic books. So if you were a fan of the books, you will enjoy the game. And you'll find out how much when our review is up in a couple weeks.
All right. Now it is time for us to see what we did this week in gaming. And Drac, what were you doing when you weren't trying to install fantasy card games?
I actually got a little DDO in. My Shader Kai dusted her off. I haven't played her in a long time, but I'm running her through the Mines of Tethiamar, that quest line, of course, trying to get the items that I want. And, of course, no shock, I didn't get any named items to drop. Nobody's shocked to hear that. I ran the first two quests, so that's Third Time's a Charm and Graveyard Shift. I ran those each a couple times.
You wish that the name of that quest was prophetic.
Yeah, exactly. Hopefully, because I ran it twice, so we'll see if Third Time really is the charm. And then my Warlock, I realized, is only level 13, so not quite high enough to run the Tethiamar quest yet, because those are level 15s. So, well, I don't know. I don't know if I'm brave enough to try it or not. So I'm in House Jurasco now, running a quest in there. I did the Enemy Within, the Grave Robber, and Dead Predators. So inching ever slightly towards 14. I'm almost 14. I think I have like maybe one bubble to go. I think I'm on my last bubble now. So almost 14. So we're getting close to that level 15 range. And then I'll go check out those and have my Warlock not get drops either. And then the only other thing I did in DDO was, of course, what I did with you. So we'll let you talk about that. I did play some other video games, though. Steam had a sale on Games Workshop games, and one of my friends surprised me by sending me a couple games. He sent me Warhammer Quest and Blood Bowl 2, so I checked those out. I had kind of been wanting Warhammer Quest for a long time. I had it on my wish list. I was just kind of waiting for like a Steam sale or whatever, and didn't even really think about it. It was on sale, but it's really fun. I really enjoy that. If you've ever played the board game, they do a very good job of translating the board game into the video game world. So great job on that. So I'm enjoying that. And Blood Bowl 2, I played a little bit, haven't played a lot of that. I really love the original Blood Bowl, so I think I'm going to like this. And as my friend said this, it's one of those games that you love to hate, because the AI cheats so bad.
It cheats?
That's what he says, so we'll see. We'll see if I agreed with him. And then I did play some Pathfinder Adventures card game, and that is going to be for a review we're going to do, and that is the Steam version, because that is now available on PCs. I have played the iPad version in the past, so now I'm checking out to see how well they have done it on the computer. Spoiler alert, they did a really good job. Such a fun game. That's just a fun game anyway. Even the tabletop card version of it is fun, and they did a really good job making the video game of it. So Pathfinder Adventures card game, that is also available on Steam. And then to round out my video game play, I did start playing House Party, which was the puzzle type quest game I talked about, that I was sent a code for review and decided it doesn't really fit the site, so I'll put it over my YouTube channel. So I'm starting to do those recordings. Not sure how I'm going to do it. I started playing, and then I remembered, oh yeah, I forgot to censor the nudity. So yeah, I had to stop that recording. That can't go on YouTube. So I have to start over with the censor button on. I enjoy the game a lot, though. It's really fun. If you liked Leisure Shoot Larry, you will love these games because it has like the same kind of humor and the same kind of style play as Leisure Suit Larry, if you've ever played those games. And then still playing 7 Days to Die, of course. My friend actually bought the game because he heard me talking about it, and he's like, okay, I got to check this game out. So we started a brand new game with him, and once again, I said he's a brand new player. He's never played before. First time he spawns into the world, a zombie vulture eats him within like 2 minutes.
What else is new?
Exactly. I was just cracking up laughing. So then he respawns. We meet back up because he respawned like halfway across the map. We met back up, and then we're running, and we're trying to find some place that we're going to make our temporary base. And we found a nice house that he liked. And I'm kind of letting him like dictate what we do since he's never played the game. So he said, well, I kind of like that house. I think, we can build it up and fortify it well and protect it well. So I'm like, okay, we'll go with that. So we go in this house, and of course we start looting everything in the house before, we start figuring out how we're going to build it up. And the next thing I know, we're like looting this house. I'm not hearing any zombies. So I know there's no zombies in the house. He dies. And then over the Skype call, I just hear him start laughing. And I'm like, what did you do? And he's like, did you know it was possible to eat glass? And I'm like, no, I did not. But that's good to know.
Good to know to avoid it.
So apparently what had happened, if you're familiar with how kind of the controls in 7 Days to Die are, if you're holding something in your hand and you hit your right mouse button, you attempt to use whatever item that is. Usually you do that when you have like water in your hand or food in your hand. Well, he apparently had a pane of broken glass that he had found when we were scavenging the house. And his bag was full, so it went into one of his tool bag slots. And it happened to be the one that he had equipped, so therefore it went into his hand. And he accidentally hit the right mouse button. Well, he ate the glass. And then it said, you have died of internal bleeding. I was just cracking up. I'm like, I did not know that was possible. But good to know. I will avoid that in the future. That was pretty funny. I think that's the most I've laughed over a video game in a long time. So that was fun. So what were you up to, Pineleaf?
Well, we'll begin with D&D, with what we did together. And we went back into the Tethimar mining outpost, where we ran Records of the Past and Strike Back, where, if I remember correctly, we had a lot of work against Drow.
Shockingly, yes.
Yep.
I like Records of the Past other than the stupid puzzle part of it. I really wish they would do away with that. I hate puzzles. Everybody knows I hate puzzles.
Well,
so I'm dreading when I have to run that quest on my other characters. I'm actually tempted just to have you come along and run it with me and just do the puzzle, and then I'll be done with the dumb quest, but we'll see.
Well, the trouble is I don't like darkness.
Oh, true. Yeah, you were complaining a lot of times. You're like, I can't see.
Right.
Like, and I'm like, we're in the Underdark, dude. Of course you can't see.
Yeah, but that one is worse than many other areas concerning darkness-wise, even for the Underdark.
The Underdark is really, really dark. I will give you that.
Yeah, so that was a little bit of a pain that I had throughout there, and it doesn't exactly give me great incentive to go and run that quest a lot. And also, after we did that, then let's see what's on the tabletop, because a lot of my video game time was doing various things with the game that's getting an expansion soon. So let's see what's on the tabletop. Actually, there was another video game that was involved a lot. That was Minecraft. I was doing a lot of Minecraft also. And I spent a lot of time building a tunnel in the Nether, which was a real fun bit. And I've got about 28 chunks worth that I was doing in there, which is a pretty large amount of time, especially since there were parts of it where it was exposed, and I'm constantly worried that at some moment that a gas will come up and start fireballing me. So I managed to get through a lot of that and get to the end of that, so back into a better, more enclosed area. But the big thing that I had managed to accomplish, other than that, was I finally found a route through the Nether to get to my base, because before I had to go through somebody else's base, board a boat, and then sail the boat across about 2,000 more blocks before I got to my base because I had not yet figured out a way to which to do it through the nether. But fortunately now I have, so it's a little bit easier now than to get home. And then on the tabletop, I had 2 new games arrive this week from Kickstarters. One is Tiny Epic Quest, where it's in the same box size as the other Tiny Epic ones, but I'm not too sure about calling it tiny, because it has a pretty sizable footprint.
That's a small box to fit a lot of game in then.
Yeah, but because the thing has, about, I believe, 17 location cards, and you got these 17 location cards, and the location cards are about the size of the box. So you can imagine 17 of those things are going to give you a footprint that's pretty sizable. And I think they might have been able to use slightly smaller cards. So the trouble is that the regional cards do include a bit on them because each of them have 2 regions inside each of the cards. So yeah, there is that. Also, the other one that arrived this week is WordZ, which is a word game, which I believe Drac recommended for me.
Yes, I did. I did a preview of that Kickstarter. Didn't realize that was actually shipping now, so awesome.
Yep, that was shipping, and that has arrived to probably most of the people in the U.S. because they promised to get it to us by the end of July.
And I'm telling you, that Gail Hoba is the designer of that, and that is from Formal Ferret Games. He is known for actually getting his Kickstarters out on time. Even if he squeaks them in at the last minute, he still gets them out on time. So congratulations to Formal Ferret and Gil Hoba for getting that actually out into the backers' hands. That's awesome.
Yeah, I think maybe, I don't know if there was any, I don't know how on schedule it is for the rest of the world, but in the U.S., but the big trouble, I think it got to the U.S. last because the fulfiller had made an error, so they had to send everything out twice. So they had to send it out, find out about the error, and for all of the ones they sent out to be returned, because they all had wrong shipping labels, then send them out again with the right shipping labels.
Don't. So what do you think of it? I really enjoyed it when I previewed it.
Well, the tricky thing there is trying to come up with all these words in real time. And it's coming up with long words in real time. That's you look at these things and you say, all right, can you come up with a good scoring word in 30 seconds?
Right, exactly. Well, see, I just figured that would be like right up your alley, though.
Yeah, but I'd have to be in a mood for real time in order to do that. Real time is not exactly in my alley.
Okay, gotcha.
Yeah, so because I occasionally do real time, but it's not exactly the first thing I go to. Word game is up my alley. Real time is a little bit less so. And in the solo mode, that 30-second rule is a little bit stricter than it is in the multiplayer word. Because in the multiplayer game, it's 30 seconds plus however long it took the first person to come up with a word. But in solo, it's 30 seconds. Now, if you let it lapse, then you can still try to get your words, just that you don't get any bonus points if you let it lapse. So therefore, if you don't get the bonus points, you could just spend as much time as you want trying to figure out what's the word in it. Sometimes it's easy to come up with words. Sometimes you're saying, what word can I think that has J, Z, R, and K? Okay, you can't have K in there because they have a rare letter limit, fortunately. So you can say, coming up with a word that has all these letters, and it's like, hey, and sometimes it's easy, and sometimes it looks like it's easy. You come up with a word, and you found out that, oh, this doesn't use as many of the letters as I thought it did when I started. When the sand was running, I thought that used up more letters. So yeah, I'm having some fun with it, but as I said, real-time isn't exactly my favorite genre. What did you think about the real-time element of it?
I kind of liked it, actually, because to me it would have been boring if you just would have had, like, as long as you wanted to come up with words. So I kind of like it.
Well, yeah, there is that, because it would be tough. If you had an infinite amount of time, then it would have some sort of pressure. Yeah, it does add a little bit something to the game.
Yeah, it does, because, you're kind of like, glancing at the board, and then you keep looking at the egg timer, and then you keep looking at the board, and then you're like, well, like you said, you're like, okay, what is the biggest word I can get? Or then it's like, or do I get a bunch of little words, or do I go for a big word? What do I do? What do I do? You know, I only have 30 seconds. Oh my God, what am I going to do? So yeah, I liked it. I haven't played it with anybody else yet, though. I've just, when I previewed, I just played it solo. So maybe it'd be different with more than one person. I don't know.
All right, then. Let's enter donations. We currently have 22 supporters on Patreon. If you'd like to help support DDO Players, simply go to the donations page where you can support the Players Alliance on Patreon. There you'll find rewards, including a mention on the podcast of your choice, or even be a guest with us for an episode of DDO Players News. We do have a featured comment this week from Evennote on Gen Con 50 Sunday Sold Out is, I picked a good time to attend my first con, huh? Ha ha, seriously, can't wait till August 17th.
16 days, that's all I'm going to say. And I hope you like crowds.
And you hope you like crowds, yes. We did not receive any emails, but if you'd like to send us one, you can send it to podcast@ddoplayers.com. You can also follow us on Twitter, the Players Alliance @PlayersAllied, DDO Players @DDO Players, Draculetta @Draculetta_72, and Pineleaf @Pineleaf News. The Players Alliance has 4 live shows every Monday at 8:30 p.m. U.S. Eastern Time. We have DDO Players News. On the first and third Friday of each month at 11:59 p.m. U.S. Eastern Time, we have XP Quest. On the last Friday of each month at 8:30 p.m. U.S. Eastern Time, we have Locho Academy After School. And every Saturday at 8:30 p.m. U.S. Eastern Time, barring technical difficulties, we have Locho Players News. You can join us for our live shows at ddoplayers.com/live. And that is all for tonight. And this is Pineleaf News reminding you to quest responsibly.